Good morning to everyone from the Employer Healthcare and Benefits Congress, World Medical Tourism Congress, and the International Luxury Hotel Association Congress. How is everyone? For those of you that just registered today, I welcome everyone to Orlando. We're very excited to be here. I'm from South Florida, so it's nice to be in my home state to organize this event. We'd like to thank Visit Orlando for their hosting of this event, and they're also our premier sponsor for the luncheon and the gala reception this evening. I hope some of you are planning on staying on and enjoying Orlando. There's a lot to do beyond just the parks. There's a lot of shopping and other activities. The dining is fantastic, and so please don't rush out. I recently had the opportunity to participate in a fantastic course. It was a corporate athlete course that is organized by the Human Performance Institute. They're an exhibitor at our event. And they gave me a reminder of something that I felt would be good and apropos as we step into the next day and a half of high-level networking, high-level energy, and a lot of walking around and listening and sharing and learning. And that was energy and the importance of energy. And from that energy, we all are able to derive our passions. So many of us in the room are top leaders in our industries, and others are emerging leaders, or they've started in their new businesses, they're entrepreneurs, they're looking at professional development and new opportunities for growth and innovation, professionally and also personally. I think passion is the single most important thing, the most important asset that we have as entrepreneurs or as educators or as innovative organizers. Passion differentiates us consistently over time. It needs to be nurtured, it needs to evolve, and it needs to be invigorated and entrusted by people to keep it true and alive. How many of you have sat in dozens of meetings with people that had absolutely no passion? I know that I've sat there and said, like, really? Can I get you a cup of coffee, or can I get you a job recruiter, or can I help you out a little bit? Because you couldn't inspire a doorknob to turn, let alone inspire me to invest in your business. So if there's no passion in it, eventually you're going to leave that job. You're going to look for something else, you're going to be disenchanted, and you're going to look for something new. So what I would suggest is that in thinking about what you're doing here, take your pulse, make sure you have one, make sure that the things that you attend and participate in are making that pulse thrive, because there is a lot of opportunity, a lot of new ideas that are being shared, a lot of new companies that you can partner with. Yesterday at the conference, we started with some of the leading women from all over the world. They demonstrate leadership not only personally in their private lives and professionally, but also in their contribution to society as a whole. Many of them have dedicated efforts like the Freedom Climb Initiative against women and child trafficking, the Girl Child Network, women who inspired us yesterday to step up and stand out. We also brought together government and private sector leaders. These came from the Caribbean region during the Caribbean Ministerial Summit. It was sponsored by UC San Diego. Those individuals had a desire to find direction to the next step in building healthcare infrastructure, how to implement population health management strategies. They were interested in corporate wellness. They were interested in someone to be interested in investing in them. So we used it as an opportunity to say, okay, this is our next step. So we had ideas, we shared them, and we created our next idea that was going to follow from it. After that, we had Cigna's international sponsorship of the Global Ministerial Summit. There, we assembled dignitaries and government officials from over 26 nations such as Dubai, Oman, Jordan, Malaysia, Africa, France, and Chile. Basically, we discussed issues that are impacting everyone worldwide. Things like the eradication of hepatitis C, reduction of NCDs, and interlinking medical tourism and wellness tourism strategies to support local population health management strategies. The leadership and the passion that was shared at these events was both inspiring and also indicative of the fact that we've definitely tapped into the pulse of the people that were here. We know now that we need to keep moving ahead, and with your feedback, we'll know how to adapt to provide you with what you need to move ahead. We finished the day with an incredible rum party, sponsored by Puerto Rican Medical Tourism Corporation. There were snapshots of snakes and alligators, and the off-site VIP reception at Shark's Underwater Grill, and the opportunity to pet a 2-year-old adopted sloth named Mila. So for those of you who are here today, after all that happened yesterday, so early in the morning, please give yourself a round of applause for being here, for standing out and showing up. I want to share something that I read that was very meaningful to me, and it's kind of a guide for me in terms of passionate leadership. It's called the 5 C's, and so please, when I go through this, think about how this may be applicable to your personal, professional, and also your community interaction, how you interact in your social life. The first C, clear direction. The future may be made up of many uncertain factors, but only the passionate will survive, and not only will they survive, they're going to thrive. Let's make sure that we paint a vivid picture of that future, one that's immersed in choice, leveraged with opportunity, and fueled by the passion that you have within. And that passion is always going to be fueled by energy that's based on good health. Clarity and focus. So ambiguity is really the enemy of change. I think people innately fear change, their resistance to it. But the resistance that we feel in moving people forward tends to go away if we articulate the steps and the behaviors and the goals that the entire community needs to move forward to achieve that vision and that mission. The third C is capacity. As I said with energy, everybody has the capacity to learn, and in fact, when you stop learning, you lose your energy or will to do anything. So you need to keep learning, and one of the greatest things that you can learn is the capacity to change. It's important not only to show that the work ahead is easy, but to make the hard work more important. Promising conditions that will build confidence and competence are most important to build experience and interactions that last and create those memories for a lifetime. The fourth C, credibility. We live in an information-abundant world. We're like a swiping culture. We're just flying through information and energy, and we don't really stop to look at what we're flipping through. And oftentimes, we are not mindful of what's going on around us. And oftentimes, we're spending our time swiping as opposed to listening. And listening is important. We become more credible when we're listening. And as a result of all of this information, we become trust scarce. We've become a world that lacks trust because there is so much information, we don't know what to trust. People want to know they can trust the individuals that design and determine their future, whether it's through education, whether it's through employment opportunities. But to garner the trust, leaders, they need to go first. They need to be able to determine what is desired and be able to deliver it to those who need it the most. Empathy, familiarity, insight, compassion, all of these things determine credibility. And finally, and I think sometimes is the most difficult one, is courage. In times of big, complex change, it seems almost logical that we need big, complicated solutions, but sometimes the solution is right there and it's very simple in front of your face. You're running around in circles to try to find something that's more complex, but nothing could be farther from the truth that the easiest solution is the one that's right in front of your face. So the courageous leader is not the one who says yes to every new program, initiative, and invention. But the courageous leader is one that can say no and also go for the things that are right in front of them that make the most sense at that time and place. So if you take those 5 C's together and you put it together with something called ACT, A-C-T, action, change, and time. These are passion-driven principles. Action, if you look at all of those things and you think about, when do I take action? Do I take action immediately? Or C, do I consider letting it go because it's not a priority? Is it something that I shouldn't be worried about? Am I willing to change my direction or course? And T, devote the most time, talent, and resources to that activity because it makes the most sense. All of these things are determining of a good leader. Passion is not a nicety, it's a necessity. It's a necessity to moving forward. It's a reason why you get up in the morning. At least I know if I don't have any passion, I have no desire to get up. It's important that we recognize those passionate people looking around you. There's passionate people here, they've gotten up early, they're here to learn, they're here to absorb, they're here to network. Nurture them, know that each one of them matters. Each one of them presents some little morsel of knowledge that you don't have. You can gain from them. To all of the passionate leaders here, I have the honor and privilege of working with many of you. Many of you have been coming to our conference for many years. Some of you recognize me. Some of you I recognize. But I have 2 final words to say to you, and that's each one of you matters. And I hope that you enjoy this event considering that.